All right, guys. So, new workplace for us to try out here. It's called Target One because you'll never guess what the target is. Um, so, yes, we are going to be making fractions, and I wrote up the rules this time, and I'm hoping that this is a helpful reference, and then we'll obviously play a couple examples here to kind of help us show. So, here's how it works. Each player is going to get three numbers. And I use that word numbers. They do go up into double digits. You do use the number 10, so it is not just single digit numbers. And there are a couple numbers that are left out. So we have a kind of generator online, a digital workplace to kind of help make sure we are using just the right numbers. Arrange the numbers into a numerator and denominator. So those two will kind of pair up to make a fraction. And then the third one will be a whole number on the other side. You're going to multiply those two together. So whole number times the fraction. And then the score is determined by how far from zero your answer is. So again, the target is 0. You're going to multiply this together and figure out how far either above 1 is your answer or how far below 1. So you're going to subtract those two numbers. You're going to subtract your number from 1 or take 1 from your number, depending on which one's bigger. And then the distance from 0, if you think about it on like terms of a number line, that distance from 0 is your answer. That's your score, and the lower score after 5 rounds wins. So you're going to take 5 rounds worth of scores, add it up, determine who the winner is. Okay, so here would be an example board of one, or kind of a record sheet, not much of a board, I suppose. You can tell that in their example they had, that was exciting, they had 5, 2, and 8. Those were their numbers to work with. And in this instance, we could take that, and they arranged it in the way that you see here. We're going to kind of toy around with what are some alternate options that they could have done. So let's say they moved 8 over here, and they did the 2 here and the 5 up there. So it would be 8 times 5 halves. Well, if you think about 5 halves is 2.5, right? So if I had 8 of those, it's probably going to end up being a lot. So what is the product, or what is the answer? Based on our previous work, 8 times 5 is 40. Still working in halves. Denominator stays the same. They did a little or here. I'm going to use another equal sign. 40 halves is equal to 20. So my score is the difference between 20 from 1. So my score in this instance would be 9. That is about as preposterously bad as you can do. Ideally, as you can tell, their example, their score was 1/4. The lower score wins. So 9 is horrendously bad. I could start with the most obvious move, which would be to take like my 8 and then flip-flop the two halves. So I could, sorry, not literally halves, but these two numbers are what I'm flip-flopping. And I could experiment and say, all right, I got 16 would be over 5. This is 3 1/5. 3 1/5 minus 1 would be 2 1/5. Okay, that's more reasonable, more realistic answer to kind of work with. Obviously, it goes to show that their score of 1/4 is the optimal best answer here. All right, so I'm going to toy around with if it were my turn in response to theirs. I just kind of X'd out their example here. Let's say my digits, for the sake of argument, is 1, 2, and 3. All right. I would point out that this is supposed to be like a record sheet for an answer. I'm using it as a workspace, and I'm going to write in all these different little things. On yours, you might have to do your work elsewhere off to the side, or they're spaced down at the bottom, or just on a whiteboard or something. But this is supposed to be 5 different rounds would go here, and not just a ton of examples, which is what I'm going to do with it. Okay, so let's say I got 1, and I got 2, and I got 3. Play out how else could I arrange this? 3, 2, and then 1, and 3 and 1. That's just the same as that one. I need my 2 down there. Let me erase this. Flip-flop those two. Yeah. I was trying to get them all in different places. I don't know how I didn't do a very good job, but I didn't. Okay, so let's find some answers. 1 times 2/3. Well, again, if I had 2/3, I would have one of them. There it is. My answer is 2/3. 3, 2 over 1. So 2 over 1 plus 2 over 1 plus 2 over 1 is 6. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. And then again, because of my poor implementation here, I just ended up with 1 times 3 halves, means I have 3 halves, or 1.5. I'm interested in these two. These were the ones I was looking for. I think we can pretty much tell that that's a bad move there. But I'm curious about 2/3 and 1.5, because what we want to assess here is how far from 1 we are. So what is the difference between 1 and 2/3? So in that instance, I'm going to do 1 minus 2/3. Well, that's going to be a third left over. And then because the 1.5 is bigger, this time I'm going to do the 1.5 first. You always pick the larger number first. So 1 goes on the left here, and it goes on the right here, because in one instance I'm dealing with a number bigger than 1, and in the other instance I'm dealing with one smaller than 1. 1.5 minus 1 would just be a half. So then you would have to kind of sleuth this out and figure out, like, ooh, which one of these two is more desirable? And then that would be sort of your final answer, is to say, oh, I know I want a low score, so I'm going to make sure that I would keep this very first iteration, even though this one down, the bottom one, is a pretty good example. And as we play, I'm going to encourage you kind of explore and be thinking about, you probably noticed as I did this example, I was kind of caught up in not wanting to do certain things because I didn't want repeat answers. So like, where does it matter when you put your digits? What strategy can you look for? Where is it best to have higher numbers and where is it best to have lower numbers? Things like that are what you're going to look for to kind of make it more efficient so that you're not just trying 6 different possibilities every single time you want to calculate something. So that's how the game is played. Again, you would do this for 5 rounds, and then at the end, you would add up all of these, whatever you had for your next 4 scores. And whoever has the lowest score wins, because that means you are closest to the target of 1.